So, Robert, how did you get involved with Arena Wars?
Is that a trick question? I'm just teasing you. Well, the genesis of Arena Wars, I think, has a lot to do with the relationship that I've developed with Michael Mahal and Sonny Mahal over the years.
Yeah,
They've been very kind to me and have employed me and allowed me a plethora of character types that are a little bit different than what Hollywood has consigned me to do. So how I got involved with Arena Wars was simply a request from Michael and Sonny. They said, "Hey," or asked me, "Hey, would you like to, get physical? Would you like to? Would you like to get? I know you tend to you have some a little bit of some anger management issues there, LaSardo. You want to like work that out in front of the camera. This not to go to jail." And they say, "Cut," and all is forgiven. That's how I got involved in Arena Wars.
and your character is a badass in this. So, how was it like portraying this character? Because it's really well written, and just reading the screenplay and just portraying your character had to be so much fun in Arena Wars as well.
You know what? Yeah, I think there's definitely that element too, and I thank Brandon Slagle for allowing me some room to do improvisational, especially when I was sitting opposite King Jeff, who plays the administrator of the parole board and wants to discuss the arrangement for me to participate in the Arena War program. Yeah, there were moments that definitely are indicative of the menace and the scary guy and what you would call the badass. But what I found curious and actually kind of fun was to work opposite my co-star, uh, Greg Talley, who played Goldie. And I don't know if you recall in the movie, there's some moments with him and I in the writing, it gives an indication of a little bit of a relationship dynamic that's a bit humorous, affectionate, and not indicative of me being a monster and him appreciating that maybe I'm a good guy or maybe not as bad as I'm painted. And there's some references to Dancing with the Stars, and I think some of the dialogue was cheeky, and the humor I thought was necessary to kind of dilute things a little bit so it wasn't too heavy, too intense. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
really enjoyed working. And while I'm on that rant, I want to make a shout out to I already mentioned King Jeff, Greg Talley, Daryl Goldberg, who's a nice, good friend of mine, talented actor, Sherry Davis, and a few others. And they'll probably hate me now for not mentioning them, but Lance Caver, Kevin Hager, who played a great role in that, and Mindy Doherty, who's in it, good friend of mine. So I think I've tried to cover the bases. No doubt somebody will be upset, but hey,
right.
can't please everybody, right?
It's like when you're on the spot, when you're making these lists, you've always forget one name or one thing, and that person is
Oh, also, okay, while we're on that subject there, Darren Barcombe, good buddy of mine, who we got a little MMA thing going on in the movie when we got into a little fisticuffs there and had some fun doing some method acting, and he forgave me for being kind of an a-hole. But a beautiful friendship was born out of that experience, and a very realistic, I think, some moments of fighting that you witnessed in the movie. That some of that stuff wasn't scripted; it was kind of improv on the day, and I think I was for me. I think it was fun as a. I'm not a young man anymore. I'm not an old man either, but to
kind
challenge
of in
my
between,
physicality,
right?
to challenge my physicality to see can I withstand the requirement of throwing punches, throwing kicks, and tussling around with these younger guys. You know,
Right. And how was it as an actor seeing the production design on Arena Wars? Because it had to be incredible just seeing these set designs and everything all come to fruition as well as an actor. It just had to be incredible.
the production value in this one was way up and through the roof. There, I noticed that too. When I walked in, I looked around. I go, "Wait a minute, am I in a Hollywood set here?" I'm not being condescending or sarcastic. I was impressed by the set design. Good stuff, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And how was it like building this relationship with the Mahal brothers over the years? How has that relationship grown? Because this is what your third or fourth movie working with them, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think they just, you know what? They tolerate me. I think they take pity on this tortured soul. Thespian, everybody you want to call it, this circus act that goes crazy sometimes on set. But what I get from Michael and Sonny is that they have a keen eye in terms of not just me, but an assortment of uh, performers who can bring a nice characterization to the table, so that the movies can have some gravitas, some spice,
Right.
uh,
Yeah.
keep it interesting. And so I appreciate, that over time with me, I think what they saw was lost opportunity by others not to allow various character types to be explored. For example, I did another film that was produced by Michael and Sonny called Night of the Tommyknockers. I
Yeah.
play a cowboy. Yeah. And if anybody would have told me, hey, Robert, guess what? One day you're going to be riding a horse and robbing a bank back in the 1800s or wherever, the time line was set, the time period, I never would have believed it. But then Michael and Sonny said, you know what? You can do this. And it's been like that the whole way with them. And I think despite my personality, eccentricity, they recognize that I'm fully committed to productions. And another film that comes to mind, Bloodthirst, where they allowed me to play this action hero of the underworld, this vampire master, was another example where I got to demonstrate to them my commitment to their commitment to make really, effective movies within the genre. And so as you continue to do a good job, I'd like to believe, like in the old days, when you do good work and people see your work integrity, they want to hire you again. And I have to say, Michael and Sonny are an anomaly because they are very loyal in a business where loyalty is rare and far few between, man.
And they seem like really nice guys, down to earth kind of guys. Are they really like
Absolutely.
that for sure?
Well, hey, they put up with me. I mean, come on. Shit. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I've broken bread with them. We've hung out. I don't drink as much as I used to, thank God. But no, I've socialized with them, and there's no this kind of facade of, like, it's there's no levels. There's equal playing field, in the workplace. When you sometimes you do some of these quote unquote bigger movies, whatever that means, you get the sense that the hierarchy takes itself a little bit too serious, and the human element just kind of gets shushed away. And
Right.
Michael and Sony, they're not like that. They're very personable people. They're concerned about every aspect of the production, the people that are working hard to bring this thing to life. I don't think they underappreciate anyone. No, not from my experience.
And working in arena wars, what were some of your favorite parts filming that? Because you talked about how physical it got, but for
Yeah,
you as an actor, what were some of your favorite moments in that working space?
I really enjoyed the sequence with King Jeff. uh, I felt like I was trying to conjure some a video I seen on YouTube of Charles Manson at this parole board. So I was trying. I know had Brandon Slagle had made a movie about Charles Manson, and so he had definitely explored that territory. So I thought it was an opportunity for me to just play around, play jazz a little bit with this idea of not a serial. Well, yeah, I guess my character is a serial killer in a way, and not necessarily a good guy. But it was just kind of fun to take a walk through that neighborhood of Cielo Drive, so to speak, and consider the possibility that I was in fact Charles Manson reincarnated, sit in front of the parole board while King Jeff looks at me, and I'm just joking around about the whole thing and saying things that don't really make any kind of sense except to me, which is how a lot of people view Charlie Manson. He'd say things that were brilliant. At other times, he'd say things to some people that seem left field and a bit crazy. But to me, I don't know. I found it to be quite existential and poetic, even. So I enjoyed those moments. I also enjoyed moments where I got to do stunts. And Alan, the stunt coordinator, kind of guided me through that, and it was just fun to throw punches and kicks and hide in the shadows with a knife and see if I could take on the whole world, and prove fruitful in the end, man. Regardless of how I end up, I don't really care. I think it's all about what you do on the battlefield, and I felt like the best part of it for me also was the fighting. Yeah, the fighting and the choreography and getting the timing right so that when you throw the punch, boom, they go, wow, that's sold. That looks good, LaSardo. That was a good one. And the sweat's dripping down your head, and you feel like you're at the gym, brother. You're at the gym but there's cameras on you, and you just having, I don't, yeah, I'm having a good time, better than I would at the gym. So
Right.
yeah, I like that. The action part was my the 100 years later to answer your question. The action part, the action was my favorite. That was my
Right, and I wanted to ask you because you brought that up. Did you have to work out and get into that body physique to kind of make those things look real as well in Arena Wars?
Well, you tell me. I'm going to ask you a question. Let me flip the script on you, buddy. How did you feel about it when watching me? Did you look? Did it look convincing that I might have been doing a
It
little bit
did
of
look
exercise?
convincing. Yeah, it looked convincing enough to me. I was like, yeah, this dude works out. And he looks like he really knows how to throw a punch and all of that. He looks like the real deal.
They say you got to stay loose. You got to stay loose. Can't be tight. I mean, some guys, they guess they have a very strict regimen.
Yeah,
John Wells, he works out quite a bit. He's definitely a disciplined man, like a Spartan. I respect his whole his whole approach to things creatively and the physical requirements. He definitely pulled that up. Um, so some people, they want to, build muscles and stuff, and me, it's just about jumping up on a pull-up bar, doing some old-fashioned pull-ups and push-ups. Stretching is key. Stay When you stretch, you stay loose. And the guys I know who are boxers who throw punches that train me through stage fighting and how to throw a punch to sell it, how you got to relax your body, and you don't want to hurt anybody. See, the key is you can inhabit the character space realistically, right? And
right,
do the acting that's required, but you also have to respect your fellow artists. And I'm not always good at that. I've gotten better over the years by learning that it's a dance, right? And when you're dancing, you don't want to step on anybody's toes, man. You want to like look good. So the camera will read the punch a certain way. And if you're loose and you're fast and you can pass the nose just close enough from an angle, actually looks like you're making contact. And if the other actor knows how to throw his face just at the right time with the sound effect, boom, you sold it. That's the industry terminology. Oh, that sells, that kick sells, that punch sells. It's all about selling the illusion of violence, right? So
right,
that's where I think being fast, agile, and in a way, doing a little bit of like it's more like it's fighting ballet, man. It's a ballet, man. It's a dance, and you can't be too tight and rigid. And I got just because you put on muscle mass and stuff doesn't mean you can throw a punch effectively, man. And I think that's why once again I think it's important to keep the cardio up, number one, so you don't get too tired, right? Because scene after scene, how many takes did we do? Oh man, I lost track. How many times I had to throw the punch? Damn, I lost track. How many times? So after a while, you're like, holy cannoli, I'm getting a little tired here. So I think cardio is number one, right? Flexibility number two. And yeah, you want to keep the body strong, but everybody's different in their approach.
and what are you
Mike
looking
Tyson said, speed kills, right? What do you say?
right,
Gus D'Amato taught him speed kills. Speed, man.
and what are you looking forward to the most of audiences getting out of Arena Wars?
I think it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, it's not Shakespeare, it's action. It's a thrill, it's a thrill ride, man. So I would hope that audiences would just have a couple hours or so. What is it? The film 90 minutes.
Yeah,
I would
just
hope that.
about, yeah.
Yeah, so I hope within the 90 minutes they could just do what I do, escape their lives for an hour and a half, man, and just have a thrill ride. It's like going to the amusement park and going on a ride. Yeah, it was fun. You get your adrenaline pumping. You watch a movie, like, yeah, kill him, break out the chainsaws, yeah, cut his head off, yeah, kick him, yeah. Oh, I hope this guy survives. It's just a thrill ride. So I hope that people will just get excited, have fun, and maybe forget their lives for an hour and a half, man. That's to me. If you ask anything more of a movie, I think you're a little bit confused.
Right, yeah,
It's just
totally.
entertainment, man. It's not the holy grail. It's not rocket science. We're not curing cancer. We're simply entertaining people. And I feel, and I've seen the film, it's entertaining as hell. It's fun. And
Yeah,
if you come to the movie with that mentality, then that's what you come away with. If you want to watch a drama or a love story, then you go watch that stuff. If you want to see a horror movie, then watch one of Michael and Sonny's other movies. But Arena Wars is very cut and dry for what it is, man. It's action, sci-fi, futuristic. You go into that world, you buy your ticket, you strap yourself in, you're going for the ride, man. And the rest is subjective. Ask 10 different people about it, they'll give you 10 different answers. I loved it.
And what's next for you, if you can discuss what you have next?
I'm going to go on a hike today. Later, I'm going to go up in the mountains and go hiking and talk to some deers and trees on the hiking trail. It's what's I'm just teasing you, man. I try, you know, half the time I can't. I don't even know what's next for me. What is next for me? Okay. I produced my own film called American Trash. It's I don't know. It's a conceptual fictional conceptual fiction about the idea of the ruination of the once Gold Coast California dream and what has it become now. So it's a social commentary about Los Angeles and this idea of antiquity, the rise and the fall of, and all the people living in there trying to make sense of pollution, violence, PTSD, and trying to love each other despite all those things. So I made my own movie. It's going to come out soon, and so that's what's next for me. Wrote and directed it. That's different.
Oh, well,
Uh,
congratulations.
yeah, so that's cool. And then another film, a good buddy of mine, great filmmaker, Josh Weber. He made a movie called Love Me Dead, starring R.J. Mitty and Dove Cameron. It's a psychological thriller and about a serial killer, and that comes out in theaters next year, I believe. And so we're excited about that release. Very good movie. He's a really very gifted filmmaker and play a character role in that I'm very excited about. So yeah, I got a couple of things brewing. Yeah.
Well, Robert, thank you so much for joining me at Infamous Horror today. It's been
Hey,
so much fun, and congratulations on the film, and we look forward to whatever you have next.
thank you, brother. I appreciate the interview and your time. And thank you, Michael and Sonny and the whole cast, man. Yeah, cheers, man.